Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiance Season 9, Episode 17, the season finale. So let's start off with Emily and Kobe and their wedding. Usually, I'm a huge sucker for a good wedding. I love watching a good wedding. I get all the feels, I get all the emotions when I watch a really good wedding. And I got absolutely nothing but sadness and depression when I watched Emily and Kobe's wedding. And I hate to say that because a wedding is supposed to be a very beautiful moment, a very beautiful occasion where two people are officially combining two separate lives into one. And it is supposed to be the beginning of this wonderful journey of joining your lives together, your happily ever after. That's what a wedding is supposed to symbolize. But I just didn't feel that way when I watched Emily and Kobe. Emily and Kobe felt that way, but I didn't feel that way when I was watching them. Watching their wedding day, it was sort of like, for me, it was like watching a funeral because it was the death of whoever Kobe was before he met Emily. The independent man that he was before Emily came into his life was officially dead and gone on this wedding day. Now he will forever be Emily's little servant, Emily's little, and I'm trying to use words that are not going to be triggering or extremely offensive to people. So I'm trying to keep it really cute and clean. But from now on, he will forever be Emily's little boy toy, someone that she can boss around, someone that she can control, someone that she can humiliate at the drop of a dime, someone that she can, run into the ground. I just did not feel the happiness, the joy, the love that I normally feel when I watch a really good wedding. So Emily, they're in separate locations. He's at a hotel, and I don't know where the hell she's at. So she calls him because she says that she has a lot of regrets about the way she overreacted the night before at the pre-wedding dinner when she got on his case about his ideas of moving to Ohio and this whole gender role thing that Temperature brought to the table. Now, with the gender role thing, I don't know why she's upset with Kobe about that because that's not his ideology. He's not someone to think that way, and especially not with Emily. Emily does not have to worry about Kobe taking control, taking over this relationship, being the one that's dominating, being the one that whatever ideas that she thinks that that Temperature injected into him, they're not. Kobe's not that way. Kobe's not thinking like that. Kobe's not listening to Temperature, so he will not be the dominant one in the relationship. He's not going to be the one to take control and tell her what to do and be the leader. And she has to follow his lead and she has to be, second to his first. That's not going to happen. So Emily does not have to worry about that. But with the whole Ohio thing, she felt like she overreacted, so on and so forth. And so she calls him and, she basically apologizes to him for the things that she said the night before, making it seem like she really didn't have a lot of faith in him, a lot of trust in him, and letting him know that she no longer has any doubts and she's ready to get married to him, and so on and so forth. And so he accepts her apology. They laugh it out and all is forgiven. So when Emily is getting ready for her wedding, putting on the makeup and fixing the hair and all of that, she's with her mom and she gets really, really emotional when she's with her mother. She starts to cry and her mother's crying and they share like a very emotional moment together. And this is the side of Emily that we were not privy to at all throughout this whole season, the more sensitive, the more vulnerable side of Emily. So to see her be so open and vulnerable with her mother on her wedding day, to see her cry and get emotional, I wish we would have seen more of that Emily, like the softer, sweeter side of Emily. Maybe I wouldn't feel the way that I'm feeling about this whole entire wedding if we got to see that part. But instead, we got to see a huge brat, someone who was extremely mean to her boyfriend or her fiance, someone who completely disrespected him as a human, as a man. And that's why I feel the way I feel about this wedding. Like there was just no happiness and no joy. But this one little moment with her mother when she was crying and hugging her mom, I'm like, damn, where was that Emily this whole entire time? Why couldn't we see that Emily? Maybe that's the Emily that Kobe sees when the cameras aren't there, and that's why he's willing to go through with this whole fiasco of marrying his abuser. So Then we see Kobe getting ready with his two friends, Temperature, and another guy has joined them from Houston, who's also from Cameroon. And Temperature is still talking his mess about, make sure that you, as the man, that, you take over, you take control. He's still running his mouth on that. Emily's father joins them, and we find out that there was a letter that Kobe had written to Emily's father. I'm not exactly sure when. I think he wrote this letter after he arrived in America, where he asked Emily's father officially for Emily's hand in marriage and, made all these promises to love her, protect her, whatever. And Emily's father responded with a letter back to Kobe, basically giving his blessings and letting him know that this is what he expects of Kobe. So while Kobe and Emily's father are sharing this moment, Emily's father gives Kobe something. We never know exactly what it is because it's a very personal, very private thing that he gives to Kobe. And I am dying to know what that thing is. But he gave him something, and obviously it meant a lot to these two men. And they shared a very, very, very emotional moment. The father was crying, Kobe was crying, the father, because in his eyes, Emily is perfect. And so the fact that he's giving his daughter away to Kobe is very emotional for him. That's his little girl who's getting married, etc. And Kobe is also emotional because he appreciates all the things that this family has done for him and his son. He thanks the father for helping raise his son. He thanks the father for accepting him in his home, accepting Kobe into their family, all these beautiful things that these two men share. And I'm watching this moment and I'm just like, these are two men who have a lot of, it appears like they have a lot of respect for each other, because no matter how harsh the father was with Kobe in the past, and he wasn't really that harsh, but he definitely let it be known that he had a lot of expectations for Kobe and he didn't want Kobe to fool around. So for the father to cry and to be this emotional about his daughter getting married, and for him to give whatever he gave to Kobe and to express to Kobe that he sees him like a son, and to express to Kobe, like he's proud of him and he accepts him. This was a very touching, beautiful moment. I was also getting a little bit emotional. The feelings that I should have felt at the wedding ceremony, I felt watching these two men have their moment. And I'm watching these two great men, be so open with each other, communicate such beautiful things to one another. And I'm thinking, these two great men, are in support of like the world's biggest brat. What they have in common is someone who, I mean, she plays her dad like a fiddle. She takes advantage of her parents and all that they've done for her. And she completely disrespects her partner, soon to be her husband, the father of her child, completely disrespects him, denigrates him, just makes a fool out of him on television. And these two men are joined together by someone who I feel like is just not worthy, absolutely just not worthy of this moment. But anyways, I digress. So Emily's dad, like I said, he tells Kobe that he loves him like a son, which I thought that was, really, really beautiful. And because Kobe doesn't have a father, or his father was not, he has a father, but his father was not a big part of his life. So for this man to accept him and to tell him this, to verbalize this, I mean, that just really took my breath away. And I thought that it was really beautiful. Also, Kobe struggles with the secret that he's carrying about Emily's pregnancy. And I don't really know for sure because, Kobe was struggling. He wanted to tell him something. You could tell. And of course, the voiceover, he's saying how keeping this secret is weighing heavily on him. He wants to tell the father that Emily is pregnant. He doesn't feel right keeping this information from him. And it makes us believe that Kobe is about to tell him that Emily's pregnant again. But I don't even think that that was his intention at all in this scene. I think when the voiceover was added, they want us to think that, but I don't think that he had any intentions of telling the father, because he's got too much, he's too afraid of Emily to reveal that secret before Emily was ready to reveal that secret. So he just basically tells him that he appreciates the father and all that he's done for him, and he looks upon him like a father. I don't think Kobe had any intentions at that moment to talk about the pregnancy. So they have the wedding, and it's whatever. They get married. I'm not going to go too much into that because it was really difficult for me to watch, to see someone marrying their abuser. So, well, after they got married, the producers asked them both, "Is it time to tell your secret about the pregnancy?" Emily says no, and Kobe says yes. And Kobe tries to convince Emily, "Look, we just need to go ahead and tell them now," because he doesn't feel right keeping this secret from her parents after all that they've done for them. And Emily's like, "No, we're not going to tell him that. No, we're not. This is not the time." So once again, he's going to follow her lead because, Emily wears the pants in that relationship. She's the one that it's a dictatorship. It's not even a relationship. It's a dictatorship. Whatever Emily says goes. Kobe has no say so. He has no influence. His thoughts, his opinions don't matter at all. She's the one that writes the script, executes the play, and he's got nothing to do with it except just to follow what he's told to do. So at some point after the wedding, after they got married, I don't know how many days or weeks after, they do decide to go ahead and tell the family. So they're having dinner, and while they're having dinner, Kobe finally breaks the news that Emily is pregnant. Everybody is absolutely shocked. The father is shocked, the mom, the sister, everybody's shocked. Even even little Corbin was shocked because he was like, "Oh no!" And so the sister asks Kobe and Emily, "Well, why did you have to keep this a secret?" And Emily was like, duh, because Dad said that this is the one thing that he didn't want us to do." Once again, she's just really rude and nasty. And so, after they've all kind of gotten over it, or kind of the shock has kind of worn off a little bit, the dad says that, "Well, I guess I'm going to be working, for the rest of my goddamn life because, I plan to retire. I plan to travel with my wife, enjoy my golden years. But no, I can't do that now because y'all are out here popping out babies like it's a game, and ain't nobody working in this damn house but me. So yeah, I'm going to be working until the day I die to take care of everybody because I don't see Emily having any intention of trying to do anything." Anyways, moving on. So dad, so the father starts to tell them, "Hey, y'all need to, step it up, and you're gonna have to work and blah blah blah," kind of like letting them know y'all are expanding this family on my dime. So y'all need to like make something happen and be responsible and get jobs and make money. And Emily, very condescending, very rude. She's like, "Dad, we know." Okay, if you know, then do something about it, girl. See, I'm feeling myself getting really upset, and I have a long way to go in this review. So let me just keep it cute, sweet, and short. So I'm like, girl, if you know, then do something about it. You knew you've been knowing for 10 weeks now. You don't want the man to go to Ohio to work to get a job. You just want him stuck in this house cleaning up horse manure. And okay, so yeah, good luck to Emily and Kobe on all of that. Hopefully this 90-day fiance money will help them get started on an independent life, and they can get the hell out of that man's house and let that man enjoy his golden years with his wife. Moving on to Jabri and Miona. So Jabri, I really thought his parents were going to show up. It's their wedding day, Miona and Jabri's wedding day. I truly thought, y'all, that the parents were going to make a surprise pop up, but, silly me for thinking that. Especially since, Mahala has been saying since day one, we don't support this. We're not going to be there. Just forget about, seeing us at your wedding. So Jabri wanted his parents there. They were a no-show. He wanted his best friend David there. He was a no-show. So the backdrop of this wedding is going to be the desert, right? Because they're out there in Joshua Tree, California. And I was like, okay, so Miona would rather have this desolate, brown, dry background for her wedding pictures instead of South Dakota, which I know she didn't want to get married in South Dakota, but I'm thinking South Dakota probably would have brought a little bit more color, a little bit more life than this desolate desert. But hey, that's what she wanted. And maybe it could work, maybe it could work. I haven't seen the wedding photos. Maybe they were just outstanding. So, they're waiting for Igor, which is Jabri's really good friend, and I guess Miona's really good friend as well, but I think it's Jabri's friend. They're waiting for Igor to show up for this arch. So this whole entire time, for the majority of their segment, we're like waiting for this damn arch to arrive because Miona doesn't want to get married without the arch because they plan to have the ceremony underneath this arch. Now I'm imagining like some arch with like beautiful flowers on it, some beautiful decorations. But instead, when it finally arrived, it was just like this triangular wooden figure. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't. I was like, what the hell is going on here? What is this? But this is the arch they were waiting for. It was like just two sticks joined together at the top like a triangle. That was the damn arch they were waiting for. The arch that was going to make or break this wedding. I was just like very confused. I think it would have been better without the damn arch. So when the ceremony begins, Jabri plays this country song that he wrote for Miona, and I'm telling you, that I thought that song was really beautiful. I don't know if it was because I'm like already emotional watching these weddings and everything. I don't know what it was, but I thought that song was absolutely beautiful. That is a song that I would definitely download and buy and pay for. I thought it was just a beautiful song, and I can't say enough about that song. I thought it was really nice. Is it the best song I've ever heard? Absolutely not. But for Jabri and for this show and for the moment, I thought it fit perfectly. So they exchanged their wedding vows. It was really beautiful. A neighbor had let them borrow his old beat up, old fashioned looking truck, I guess for them to take pictures in. I bet it came out really cute. This wedding, two thumbs up for me. Jabri and Miona were made for each other because they're both weird, they're quirky, they understand each other extremely well. They get each other. They totally get each other. So I was in full support of this wedding. I enjoyed watching Jabri and Miona. I thought it was a great ceremony. Oh, and Miona looked beautiful. Her wedding, she said that she didn't go with the wedding gown that she had seen in Chicago, so she found another one online, and it was designed by a Russian designer, and it fit her personality. It really fit her personality so well because she's a little bit kind of like, she's got her own style. She's got her own unique style. So it was a very unique wedding gown because it came with these puffy sleeves that were like detachable or something. So this was a perfect wedding gown for her. She looked beautiful. Jabri looked like Jabri. I thought this was an awesome wedding. I wish I could see. I have to go look online for their wedding pictures to see how everything looked with this desert backdrop. But that wedding for me gets two thumbs up. Moving on to Tais and Patrick. So it starts off with them FaceTiming Tais's dad, and the dad is he is not in agreement with the wedding at all. But he's like, "Hey, it's your life. You do whatever the hell you got to do. You make your own damn decisions. But I'm not in agreement with this at all. I'm not supporting this at all." He wants Tais to marry somebody from Brazil. He's not happy with her being so far away. He's not happy with her marrying an American because he has this bias against Americans. And so he's just not happy with it at all. But he's like, hey, it's your life. You make your own decisions, which, as a child, to hear your parents say that, it kind of cuts deep because it's kind of like, I don't know, like they don't care, or they're kind of like, this like lets for sure your parents are not supporting your shenanigans when they say something like, hey, it's your life, you make your own decisions. So Patrick says that he's going to work really hard to gain her father's trust and his respect, and he's going to prove his father-in-law's suspicions wrong. And Thais says that she feels a lot better now that they've told the father the what's up. So Thais says that she still has doubts about getting married because Patrick is still very controlling, and her dad has not given his blessings. I don't see Patrick when he gets mad. He gets really mean. I don't know if he's necessarily controlling. When he gets mad, he gets really short. Like the furniture scene when they went to go furniture shopping. Well, what we thought was furniture shopping. And he didn't want her to buy anything at all except for one cheap vase. That's the only thing he allowed her to buy. Like, I guess that's controlling then, because he was not open to the idea of buying a pillow, a table, a lazy boy. All he let her walk out with was a damn vase. I guess he is controlling in that manner. I thought he was just really, really cheap also. So I don't know. Hopefully things get better now that they're married. I thought their ceremony was also really beautiful. Her friends arrived before we get to the ceremony. Her two friends arrived, and she told her friends, that her father really didn't give the blessing. And one of her friends said, well, if it was me, I wouldn't get married without my father's blessing. And the other friend said, I don't care about that. I get married anyway. So Thais decides to go ahead and get married anyway to Patrick. I think her father will definitely come around. I mean, if he loves his daughter at all, and if he sees that she's doing well, and Patrick really has to treat her better, then he might come around. So they get get married. The ceremony to me, I thought was beautiful. The venue was beautiful. The scenery was beautiful. Her dress was plain, but I like it when the body makes the dress. Like the dress itself was very simple, very plain, but because of all of her curves and her body being so nice, it made the dress pop. She has a gorgeous figure and she looked absolutely beautiful in that wedding gown. I thought the ceremony was beautiful. Everything about them, 2 thumbs up. I enjoyed watching them. They did their own little like Brazilian dance. Thought that was really fun to watch. And Tais, in the beginning, she said that she was sad because she didn't imagine her wedding taking place like this because her family wasn't there. Her father and her grandmother were able to watch it to watch it remotely. And I'm wondering, like, what happened to her mom? Is her mom not? What's up with her mom? And does she have any siblings? Like, what's going on with the rest of the family? Because we've only seen her dad and her grandmother. Maybe the rest of the family didn't want to be filmed. So the father was watching the ceremony, and his face was completely like deadpan, no expression, no love, no emotion, no nothing. Yeah, so that is what it was, and it was beautiful. It was a really beautiful wedding. I liked Patrick's reaction when he first saw Tais walk down the aisle. You could tell that he thought that she was absolutely breathtaking. This was also nice to see a softer side of Patrick, because usually Patrick is stressed out and there's always like this tension between them. But it was nice to see them like kind of let loose, and Patrick was a little bit more relaxed. John talked a lot of sense. He says, they have a lot of problems that they have to work through, but they love each other. So that's the only thing that really counts. But they do have some stuff that they need to try to get resolved. John makes a lot of sense. I think sometimes he's a little bit too rough around the edges when he talks to Thais. He's a little bit too blunt for my taste. But John does end up, he does make a lot of sense. He does have some really good points to make. Now, Thais says after they got married, she goes, well, now the first thing that I want to do is I want to kick your brother out. And Patrick is like, okay, go for it. You take care of that. You handle that. But John was emotional. He was proud of his brother, happy to be there to witness his brother's wedding. He said that he's happy that him and his brother have gotten close because they didn't have that in the beginning. Their relationship is important. Their relationship is very important. But is it necessary for them to live under one roof, especially when one of them is married now? I don't think so. I think they should still maintain their relationship, but just in separate residences. No one is downplaying the importance of their relationship, their brotherly. No one is downplaying that at all. They need each other. They're good for one another. They've helped each other out. They can lean on one another. I just think that maybe it's time for John to move out. Moving on to Bilal and Shaeeda. So it's their wedding day as well. Shaeeda's sisters, while she's getting ready, her 2 sisters tell her that it's still not too late, girl. You can still, make a run for it. Go back to Trinidad. You still have time to do that. But of course not. So she's not going to do that. So Shaeeda says that she looked over the prenup, she read it through, and she said that the things that she wanted were definitely included in the prenup. So she's happy about that. They went ahead and signed it. So they do the wedding ceremony. The wedding took place in their home. It was beautiful. Shaeeda looked absolutely lovely. I thought she was beautiful. The ceremony was beautiful. I loved watching them as well. 2 thumbs up for that ceremony. At the end of it all, Shaeeda says that, she can't wait for them to start having their children, making babies. She says something about, hopefully you want to be a father sooner than later. And then Bilal was like, you mean a father for the 3rd time? Okay, Bilal, no one's forgotten that you have 2 other children. Okay, you don't have to correct her on every little thing. She did not mean that you're not already a father. She was just using the word father in the general sense of the word father. Okay, we know you have 2 other children. No one's forgotten that. Your other 2 children are not ignored or forgotten. So yeah, Shaeeda wants to, work on that. And now I want it to happen naturally with them. I don't want Shaeeda to constantly nag him about babies and all of that. Of course, in her mind, she's probably going to be keeping track of everything to make sure that she gets pregnant. But as far as like constantly bringing it up, I hope she's not going to bring it up all the time. So that wedding also 2 thumbs up. It was really, really beautiful. I saw the previews for the tell-all, already stressing me out. Emily and Kobe's wedding stressed the hell out of me. I actually had a headache throughout the episode watching them. So hopefully the tell all, I don't know, the tell all is already looking very stressful. Especially when Kobe pulled down his pants and we saw his underwear. Thank God they were not the tidy whities, which we saw the tidy whities made their appearance in this episode. I was very disappointed in that. I get it, you're a great underwear model, Kobe, but the tidy whities, cut it, please. Anyways, so I saw the preview where, he pulls down his pants to show off his underwear or whatever. And thank God they're boxers or boxer briefs, whatever you want to call them. And it's got Emily's picture on it all over the. I was just like, oh my God, you're such a simp. Kobe, you are such a simp for this woman. It is so embarrassing. Okay, fine. You're in love with your abuser. Your abuser is the best thing that's ever happened to you. We get it. That is my review of 90 Day Fiance. Thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. On your way out, don't forget to rate the video if you like this content. Subscribe. I do apologize if I'm a little bit lackluster, a little bit low on energy. Or maybe I'm always low on energy. I don't know. But the whole Kobe Emily wedding, to me, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.